Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
And we're here for Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 13.
13.
Unlucky 13.
We don't do superstitious stuff, not for real.
Nah, we don't do superstitious stuff. But hey, but while you're at our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Make sure that you do hit the button and make sure you also share. Once again, we're here to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 13. A lot has transpired in this episode. It is interesting to see how the couples are making out here. Where we're just, as the show started, we were 22 days away from Decision Day. Dum 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 dum.
Oh man.
22 days away from Decision Day. And we started out with, I thought they would start out with Zach and Mindy. For the fact that Zach didn't sleep, they went off last week. Zach didn't go to the same bed with her. So I was hoping they would start the show off with Zach and Mindy, but they didn't start with Zach and Mindy. They started with Jessica and Austin. And we saw a little rift in their relationship.
I wouldn't even call it a rift, just a little...
It was a problem.
I mean, a little issue. A little issue of some concern. They're on their date night, weekday date night.
Weekday date night?
Yeah, because their schedules finally came together when, okay, it's in the middle of the week, but they're going out to eat. And so they're sitting talking, and Jessica's like, so you're going to be traveling for your job. How's that work? And he was like, maybe twice a month I'll be traveling. Sometimes 10 days at a time. She was like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know. As newlyweds, I don't know if I'm going to like you being away for 10 days.
She knew she was signing up for it. I'm sorry. It's not like they didn't have that discussion. Not like she didn't know that he was going to be traveling. I understand that she didn't want to be by herself. And they were talking about where they wanted their apartment at, whether it's going to be Silver Springs, Maryland, or whether it's going to be somewhere closer. She didn't want him to have an hour, 2-hour drive to work. So they was having that type of discussion. And, it came up that he travels for work. He travels a lot, whether it's on weekdays or weekends. And, it's great how the production team put this together. We never knew that. Every time we saw Austin, we always seen him at home.
Right.
So you always like, oh, this dude gets off every day, but he's been traveling. And so they had to work around his schedule of traveling and film things. And she kind of feel kind of bad, like, we're going to be newlyweds and living together, and now I'm going to be by myself. And she even said, let me change or adjust my schedule to your schedule if you let me know ahead of time so we can spend time together. And I thought that was nice.
Well, I think she said that too, though, because she was like, I could do more nights because she's a newlywed, and she's like, I'm going to miss sleeping in a bed with my husband. So, she said maybe, so it won't be so disruptive. I'll work more nights, so it's not like I'm really missing you.
Did you feel that way after we got married?
So anyway,
that's a question.
We're talking about Jessica and Austin.
Did you feel that way after we got married?
Well, I didn't have that problem after we got married. Now, I did have that problem when our two oldest were toddlers and you worked at night.
But you had that problem when we got married. Remember, I went back to college.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't really sweat that. Because it's only a couple of months. I mean...
Yeah, I went back to college and you were still here by yourself.
I was busy working.
Oh, you busy working?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, I noticed it more once you got there. I guess because you hadn't actually stayed there. We got married. We went on a honeymoon. You went back to school. So it wasn't like we had a stretch where you were there. You weren't there. You went back to school. So.
All right, just asking. A little bit into our world. Where to go?
Anyway. So they had that conversation. We had the I love you conversation again. When is it appropriate to say I love you? And Jessica wants to say it so bad, but she's like, he's not going to say it back. And he says, I'm not putting a time frame on it. I'm growing into love.
He used everything except for the L word.
Yeah, I don't want to rush into saying it. I've never felt this way about somebody so fast. No, but he puts a lot of stock in saying I love you. Like, just
but you're doing everything that represents love.
Right.
And you're doing everything that represents love. Love is an action word. People are so hung up on that word that I love you. But a lot of people said I love you and have never put any action behind I love you. I think if you show more action and the action and that love go together. So he's doing the action. Go ahead and just say the word.
Yeah.
And when we see that later on when they meet with Dr. V, that Jessica kind of got pressured into saying it. Not pressure. She felt more relaxed and more vulnerable. The V word.
Yeah.
That she was willing to say it in that moment while Dr. V was at the house. And Austin, I guess from a man's perspective, felt like, you know what, y'all not going to pressure me to say this word because both y'all women here and Dr. V's here. I'm just not ready. And she felt like he was stubborn and didn't say it.
Yeah, she said it. And we kind of felt for Jessica because she was like, yeah, I mean, I can say at this point, I love you. And
she felt rejected.
And but she said she understood. She understood, and it was kind of like, oh, dang, Austin, you didn't say it back, but I understand. He wasn't going to say it back just because she said it.
Did she really understand, or was that like the women, one of those women I understand? You know how women say I understand just so there's no argument and there's no, yeah, I understand.
No, I think she understood. I think she really understood.
Okay.
And she doesn't want to pressure him. She's Dr. V encouraged her to be more vulnerable, and that's what made her want to say it. And she showed that vulnerability. So, yeah.
Yeah, they had a good thing going. I think the episode with them showed a little bit more of their Jessica's awkwardness and how she doesn't really like confrontation. How she really wants things a little bit.
I'm not gonna say
confrontation. I'm gonna say the awkwardness, how she wants things to continue to go smooth.
Yeah, but she did acknowledge they had their first little argument. She texted him in all caps. She wasn't very nice in her text.
Use
she used a cuss word, and he said I did this, not the same thing, but I wasn't very nice in my delivery either. So they kind of got past it. She said,
and they didn't show it on camera. Then that one of the things that didn't get caught. I'm sorry. They
probably had the argument in the bathroom.
No, but it was at work. It was on the car. So figure they had to show them having a tiff. They didn't show them having any tiff all season long.
Yeah, because it wasn't major. Not like the other people. Yeah. When you compare it to everybody else, I'm sure
Yeah, they
probably didn't feel like it wasn't worth saying anything, But yeah, so they said they had their little disagreement, their little argument, and they got past it. So that's what we expect from Jessica and Austin.
Yeah, we do. But let's get to my couple right here. My main man, Zach.
Can we round them out real quick? And then we don't have to come back to them.
Round them out.
Round them out. So they went to the beach. They went to North Beach together, and they had the task to write letters to their younger selves. And Austin basically shared, that he wouldn't have been so focused on, don't be so focused on baseball, be focused on your career goal. And he said he just lost track in college, and he's just talking to his younger self. And Jessica appreciated him being more transparent and expressing his feelings. And so Jess wrote a letter to her younger self, her teenage self, which goes to the fact that why she doesn't want to hold back on saying I love you, even though that's what the determination she came to, because she talked about her grandma a lot. Apparently her grandmother passed away. She wished she had more time, and so she just talked about appreciating the time that you have with people and appreciating the people. And so that's what really led her to want to tell Austin, I love you, because I better say it now while I have the time.
Yeah, and that's the reality in the world that we live in today with everything's going on with COVID-19. People really have to express and show their feelings and love to people, because you never know. You never know where they're at. And I understand from Austin's perspective, being an athlete, being that guy who has very good athletic ability, and you're focusing on sports and you want to get there. And sometimes the education fails because you have a false sense of how good you are. And that you spend more time in being enrolled in that sport than you do educationally. And you come out of college, with a degree, but sometimes you still suffer in the job realm because you didn't put all that effort into what you need to put the effort into.
Yeah, so, but I thought it was sweet that, they comforted each other, and he was very sweet and reassuring to her. And I thought, I would just love Austin and Jessica.
And North Beach is a nice place, so.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going back to your Zach and Minnie. I had to reroute because let's go ahead and get Austin and Jessica all the way out the way. So we give you the good feels, the happy times.
Yeah, happy times.
Before we go to the train wrecks.
y'all need a train wreck here. Zach and Mindy.
Ah!
Mindy, you know, goes out with her friends, and now she with all her friends. They're discussing, you know, Zach spending the night, or Zach had bringing his bag to the house. Did he meet her ultimatums? Did he do what she asked him to do and needed to do? And
well, even before that, Mindy shares with them that we went to the recommitment part, and I recommitted, and they were kind of like, her friends were kind of like,
why?
But they also were like, what did he say? And she was like, he recommitted too, and then they were like, oh.
So
why did he do that?
Like I said last time, what did you expect? He's still getting checks. Right? He's still getting paper for being on the show. Let's be honest. You're still getting checks. Right? So at this point, I'm committing, I'm staying together for the checks. And I'm getting TV time. Yo, let's be honest, dude is there for the TV time. The Instagram
really
likes
appears
it.
That way.
He's there for this. So the more TV time he gets, the better off he's going to be.
Yeah.
And y'all talked about Matt last season. This dude is worse than Matt.
Oh, Zach is just.
Matter of fact, there might be a poll. Who's worse, Zach or Matt?
I don't know, but
let us know. Let us know in the comment section. Who is worse, Zach or Matt? But go ahead. I digress.
No, you were saying that Mindy said she had some ultimatums, some things that needed to happen, and her friends reminded her that
they didn't happen. So what are you gonna do?
Right.
Like, they didn't happen. The first night, you say, okay, stay here, or you gonna live in. He brings a bag. You should have known. Okay, he's not staying.
Yeah, they were like, did he move in? She was like, he brought a bag.
He brought a bag. Like, what are you gonna do? Didn't he sleep in the same room with you?
Right.
Which I understand. And I understand that. I'm not getting on the fact that he had to sleep in the same room with her, because we know Brandon didn't sleep in the same room with Taylor, but they still lived in the same house. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. He's at least you're underneath one roof. Don't want to be a hypocrite there, but he's underneath one roof. So guess what? Be happy that he's making some progress. I give her that. He's making some progress. But then it gets into, they started putting pieces together.
Oh,
she started talking
boy.
about, Zach said, he finally told me off camera what the big secret was. The big secret was that her ex wanted to pick her up from the airport, and she said no.
And she told her friend Shani that. Mm-hmm. And so Shani, she said, oh, wow. Zach came up with this whole thing that somebody that he knows her ex, and this person told him. And Shani starts thinking about it. She's like, well, I mean, you didn't really say anything. You told me. And the person I told was Lindsay. So Lindsay told him.
Lindsay.
Duh.
We're back to Lindsay again.
Oh my gosh.
But remember, if you go back to previous episodes, she asked Zach. She asked Zach, did Lindsay say anything? He said no. So he's been lying. No. He's been lying to her the whole time. Look, we're not dumb. She's not dumb. It's more to Zach and Lindsay than meets the eye. And Dr. Viv said, you're spending more time and put more energy in Lindsay than you did with your girlfriend Mindy. Maybe he thought Lindsay and Mindy was the, I don't know. But even when he talked to Dr. Viv, it's like he went around the bush. He really didn't answer any questions again.
You're jumping the gun,
I'm sorry, but it just runs in my mind that he jumped. Because he irritates me.
But even before they get to Dr. Viv, Mindy comes back and she confronts Zach. And Zach walks in and he's all, I mean, we had a good week, I've been staying here and I haven't been miserable. I've been happy, and he's all upbeat and positive about it. And she like, well, you still lied. You lied to me.
You lied to me. we can't cheer, but there's no cheers on this.
She said ain't no cheers. He was like, let's cheers to a good week together. She was like, nah.
And I'm not even gonna give him credit, because when she confronted him, he did finally come out once the truth was there. He didn't say he actually cheated on her. He said, me and, you're right. Lindsay did tell me I didn't want to complicate things. I didn't want to make things.
Yeah, he starts that circle talk again.
Yeah, he started that
circle talk again. He was like, well, I can see how you got the impression that and I didn't want to do and yeah, blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada.
And she flat out tell him, look, I don't want to be married to you no more. I told myself I wouldn't do this again.
She said, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You lied to me. And unlike one of the other couples, but this is way more major than the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's okay to lie, but this is like you're talking to my friend.
Yeah.
You never said anything. When I asked you about it, you lied about it.
You lied about it. Straight up lied.
You straight up lied about it, and you're dishonest. Like, no, I can't do it no more.
You hiding. But think about it. You hiding stuff. You're not living with me, so I don't know how much you're talking to her. I don't know how much y'all dealing with her. You said she reached out to you on Instagram, and then you gave her a number. How did she get your Instagram?
Right.
So it's so many questions that's involved with Lindsay that it was too much for her, Mindy. And you can see all the tears. Her makeup was running. Mm-hmm. She was really upset and really highly. And I know some of you out there, she should have did this weeks ago.
Well, that's what I told my husband. I said, honestly, I probably, if I, we might come back and do that, but I said, if I was Lindsay, Lindsay. If I was Mindy, yeah, Lindsay too. If I was Lindsay, I wouldn't. But if I was Mindy, I probably wouldn't have recommitted, first of all. Second of all, after I talked to Dr. Viv and said I had these list of things that he needed to meet, that night, if we didn't go boom, 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 I'd have been through that night.
Yeah.
But she let it go. She was fine with him. She wanted to try. She was fine with him just coming to the house to spend the night. He didn't commit to moving in. That was one of the things. She wanted him to move in. Mm-hmm. He didn't commit to moving in. He didn't stay in a room with her. He only had a bag. They talked about the thing with what's the secret. I tend to believe he probably didn't talk about it that night. Probably was the next day. You know, no. I feel like she should have just nixed it.
But she said that after the commitment process, she wanted to see if there was a difference. And she needed to know for herself. And so she realized that after she knew it would for herself, it was time to cut ties.
Yeah.
It was time to say, you know what, I'm over with, I'm done. You know, and I'm going to jump the gun again. Dr. Viv talked to Mindy. And she was kind of happy, like, oh, you broke it off? Like, oh, I'm smiling right now.
She said before, no. She says, Mindy tells her, I told Zach basically it was over, I'm done with it. Dr. Vill's like, well, before I smile too big, how do you feel?
How do you feel? Right. And she like a pressure was let off, you know?
Yeah.
But it was
she looked so much more, she looked freer.
She looked free.
She did.
Yeah, she looked free, and that's one of the things because she'd been trying, and she tried to process, and he wasn't trying at all. And so, we know the experts can't tell you to get a divorce or what to do, but they also don't want to see you hurt, and that's what Dr. V said. I knew I didn't want to see you hurt, but I couldn't tell you what to do. You had to do this for yourself. And then she pops up at Zach's house.
Oh my gosh.
And so before he asks Zach like what's going on, and Zach goes to all the good things.
He's like, we've been talking more offline, we're spending time together, and I came into the apartment, and everything's just like on the up and up, and Dr. Bill's like, hold on, player.
Player.
Hold up. Kimasabi. I talked to Mindy already, and I put it down. I was like, Zach was looking stupid in the face, like
he felt that small. He felt bad because he like.
Well,
then here come the circle talk.
Since you know what happened,
right? He started with the circle talk. And, I tried. I've been trying this, that, and the other. And look, I don't even see how he was disappointed. I don't know what he was thinking. I really think he was delusional. I really think he would have been at decision day saying, you know what, I want to stay married with you.
Because let's go just a minute, go back when she told him, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I'm done with it. He's kind of sat there like, she going to change her mind. Even when he went to get his stuff, which it wasn't even a bag, like he put his stuff under his arm. He had just enough stuff to put under his arm in his little hygiene bag. And he stood in the kitchen like...
Because he brings clothes every day. He takes the clothes home and comes back.
But he stood there like...
You really want me to leave? She's like, give me my key. Turn my stuff in.
I guess, I don't know. It's like... He even told Dr. Viv and Mindy, I know what I did gave you cause to come to this conclusion, but... It was like he really didn't expect her to pull the trigger.
He was punking her. Look, let's be honest. Call a spade a spade. He was punking her. He felt she's so insecure that she's emotionally unstable. She's not going to pull this trigger. I'm going to be the one to do it. She's not going to let me go. So guess what? We're going to ride this thing out. She won't do it. And I'm sure Lizzie was probably telling her too. Oh, she won't do it. I've known her for years.
Oh,
she
I'm
won't
sure
do it.
she
won't do that. So let's just wait till after the show and you can have our conversation and we can talk, because I haven't forgot about that. She was like, wait till the show's over and we can start talking. I don't want to talk no more on the show because she thought she was going to get caught on camera, that he was going to get sloppy. And what it is. So look, I'm happy for Mindy. Y'all should be happy for Mindy. Mindy did a good thing.
Thank God. I was like, yes, thank you. And Dr. Viv had a whole conversation with him about, you lied to your wife. And he was like, well, I mean, I misrepresented. I think it was a misunderstanding. I didn't tell the whole story. You lied to your wife. Yeah. And he was like, well, I mean, if you want to call it that. Oh my gosh. I could just, somebody give me a Nerf gun so I could shoot the suction cup at his forehead. Like, really, Zach, I ain't never seen such, I'm so, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that at least this couple, we saw it disintegrate before decision day.
This is bad.
The one that didn't get leaked, but
this is bad. But since we talk about couples and lying, and I see you got your
I got my this is in honor of Mika. I mean, I did it before that, but it just turned out that she had it done.
Yeah, you got your Mika
puffs. So keep it like it was.
You rock rough and tough with your Afro puffs.
Hey,
ho.
No, rock on with your bad self.
Yeah, let it rage. Anyway,
Cornville, VA all day, 2 up, 2 down.
Anyway, we go Mika and Michael, and so we see Mika and Michael sitting in the bed. And Mika is having a conversation. Michael, okay, we're being honest, we're doing good. You had a rough day. Yeah, I had a rough day, been a long day. She comes in, she's holding his hand while they were sitting in bed.
Well, no, she didn't hold his hand yet.
She pulled out her feelings.
She's trying to reassure him. She went to hold his hand and she asked for. She's like, well, we talked about finances and we want to share. So I'm gonna show you my pay stub. And so she pulls her laptop out and she gets direct deposit, so she doesn't actually get a pay stub. So I think she did like I have to do. She went to her company website and she logged into the HR or employee self-serve. And it went to the pay statement and she was like, see, this is what I get paid.
This is what I get paid for the week. This is 52 years.
This is what, if you multiply this by, this is how much it would be for a year. And so, what do you have, Michael? And that's what she reached it. She reassured him and reached his hand. It was like, come, let's do this together. Let's walk through the field of daisies together. And homeboy says,
no, he said, I really ain't got no pay stub yet. Now, mind you, come on, y'all. Can y'all help me out on this?
I want to pay.
Help me out, dog. We have 22 days left in this marriage. Unless they did some editing, dude had a job, right? Dude already had a job, right? So he came back, he got a job. He's working. So 2 weeks ain't passed by, you ain't getting no check. But you can talk about you bought a trip to Jamaica.
Which we still haven't seen the proof of.
You gonna take her, she can go swim with the dolphins, and then you reach in your nightstand, so I got an offer letter, and then you pulled out your phone. Now, if you don't have no pay stub and you just got an offer letter, what did he show her on the phone?
I don't know.
So these are my taxes right here, and this is this right here, and this is where I'm gonna get paid. And my offer letter says that. And she looking at like, you think I'm dumb because, like, you really think.
Some of y'all might not know this, but this is what people say. Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool?
Am I that stupid? Like, cause dog, here's my letter. The offer letter tells you how much any offer letter. I've had written offer letters for people.
Absolutely.
I've given people offer letters.
Absolutely.
So I've received a couple offer letters.
Absolutely.
And it has no taxes breaking down. It tells you exactly what you're going to make for that year.
And what your salary is.
What your salary is.
Or if it's not your salary, it says how much you're gonna get paid per
week,
hour.
Per hour. Per week, per hour, whatever the case may be.
Your hourly rate.
Your hourly rate. So hourly rate, okay, even if you're making your hourly rate, right? And let's be honest, with hourly rate, you multiply that. So, you know, I'm going to make 40 hours a week. Boom. 40 hours a week. Okay, I get paid every 2 weeks. So that's 40 times 26. And that's what you make a year before taxes. There's nothing wrong with that.
But homeboy said, this is my offer letter. And so this is what they said my salary is once they take out taxes. And, you know, they accounted for my 401k, my health insurance, my flexible spending account. And so this is what it is. And Mika's like,
she pulled out that phone. She
started looking and she said, well, I see what you're saying, but bruh, this like double digit difference. This double digit difference, and I don't, this way different. So, but take this piece of paper back and write down what the salary is. And so he writes this number, and she looks and automatically is like, Montre. We was like, who is Montre?
Did she call him by the wrong name? Like, hold on, dog. Y'all in bed. You call him by the wrong name. Oh, that's the producer. I'm like, oh, that's the producer. I got it. See,
y'all, please excuse me. This whole episode, I mean, it was so ridiculous.
Duh.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. She tells Montre, like, bruh, he the producer. Look, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
He keep lying. He done made up these numbers. Tell him to put the right number. Montre's like, write it down. He was like, I did. She said he gonna keep making up numbers.
I'm tired of him lying. We done went through this many times. I'm tired of him lying. He keep making. Dog, we battle. It's look. And for my brothers out there, look. I love y'all. If you make less than your woman, and you're trying, and you're striving, it's okay. At least continue to try to bring up where you need to be at. Doesn't mean that you're less than a man. I mean, you may just have to work a little bit harder. She may have more education to you. She may be in a different field than you. It may be something, but at least try. Don't lie about it. It's okay. Don't lie about it. Again, it's don't lie about it. Try to get your coins up. Do what you gotta do. You gotta be a tailor, work 3 or 4 jobs. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to joke on her because she makes more than I do. But it's okay.
We're in different fields too.
We're in different fields. So guess what? I bring my coins up. It's what it is. Don't feel like you're less than a man. But on a side note,
it was just laughable. It was laughable. But as we go further with them, I mean, just to me, just a side note. This season, we have seen more people talking to producers than a little bit. To the camera people, more than a little bit. It's like, hey, cut. They cutting their own scenes. They cutting their own scenes and are going to the producer like, bruh, listen, would you? She's like, would you? How about you? Would you put up with it? Would you deal with it? Like, how many people is in this room that Mika is talking to? I love it. I love every bit of it.
Is it you? Is it you? I feel
and you get a lie. And you get a lie. Everybody gets a lie. She's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But Dr. Viv meets with them.
Yeah. And
she tried to get to the bottom of it. And basically, what Michael says is, which I've really felt like it's been a cop. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been a cop out, but his sister brings to light more of it. The thing is, it's always like the fact that I'm adopted, that my mom didn't want me, that she wasn't there. You know, I felt like I had to make something that wasn't there. I've had to come up with scenarios in my mind for what life really is to distract from what my life is right now, to make it to something that it's not. And I feel like this is not the first time he's made his mom and the fact that he's adopted the fall guy.
Yeah, but you gotta realize too, and I had to think back to the first episode, Michael had worked a lot to get harder, to get where he's at. Mm-hmm. Whether it's principal, director, whatever, and not to make light of it. You know, they talked about in the very first episode that he was dyslexic. You know, that he had some challenges.
Yeah.
So he had some challenges, some things that he had to deal with and overcome. Put on top of that, dealing with your mom and not wanting you, feeling abandoned. Putting on top of that you're living with your aunt, you know. So there's a lot of things that he has to deal with. And he said he put in his mind that he had to create an image he wanted to be. And as a grown man, he's still creating that image. And he's ashamed when he can't live up to par.
Yeah.
And so that's where that reassurance comes in at. And again, not being able to see a marriage be successful, not having anybody to talk to about marriages, not having another man in your life to help you mature and go up. So Michael has dealt with a lot of things, a lot of issues, and that he, you know, I think he genuinely likes Mika. Yes. He really genuinely wants to be with her. But again, that shame factor comes in and that pride comes in. I can't live up to where she's at. I can't make what she has. And he doesn't tell the truth. And I think telling and him making up a lie to seem like, okay, it may not figure out, so I'm going to make up a lie and I'm going to tell another lie and she's just going to go along with it. He felt the right one. Which now you can see why he's not married.
Right.
And he had to go on the show because he's constantly making things up. And I guarantee you ask some of his exes, they'll probably say the same thing. He lies too much. We know somebody we found out we knew somebody who knows somebody that knows Michael, and they said he's been lying for a long time.
Because what he says was, you know, he embellishes, and it comes to the root of it, like Dr. Viv said, it's like, but why? Okay, so you feel like you need to protect yourself. That you can't let somebody in. You create this narrative, so people don't see the real you. And when Mika sits down to dinner with his sister Tanya, who's really his cousin, you know, basically she says, do you feel like Michael lies? And Tanya says, if Michael was here, he wouldn't call it lying. He would say it's exaggerating. And the root of it is, yes, you have dealt with rejection from your mother. But Tanya lets her in that it's not just rejection from his mother, but rejection from other people. Michael has always been a different kind of person. And that didn't always go with everybody. Basically, she said he got picked on for being himself, for being different, being his authentic self. And so what he tried to do is put on a facade of what he wanted people to see him as and not be his real self. And so he's done it for so long, he doesn't know how to stop. I think we made this point before, is that people come into not just married at first sight. You come into your marriage. You come into a relationship. Everybody comes in with this baggage. Everybody comes in with issues, good or bad. And so that stuff is not going to drop off as soon as you get into it. Married at first sight, even though it's an accelerated process, people are not going to change from who they have been for years in 8 weeks. It's not going to happen. And Tanya brings that to Mika's attention. It's like, it's been him for so long. He's not going to change. But you know, she tried to encourage Mika to push him, but this is why the Married at First Sight experiment is kind of different. I know this is a long video. Please bear with us. Because they don't have counseling beforehand. Right. See, a lot of these issues you find out in counseling. Right. Beforehand. If they'll be upfront, which I'm sure he wouldn't have been. Be upfront, but this is some of my thing. This is some of the issues that experts should have caught up with if they did the process correctly. You know, this is some of the things that they should have dealt with, but Michael can put on a front. When you've been lying for that long, you put on a good front. And so, and take the time and you think. And so it becomes a mental thing, because when we see him tap his head all the time, and you mentioned, he's trying to figure out which Michael's going to show up. Yeah. Which Michael do I want to put up here right now? Am I tired of lying? Am I confronted? See, then you see, this is where you go at. The different Michaels is when you see him confronted by somebody much stronger than him, or somebody who has a little bit more respect than him than his wife. When it's Pastor Cal, or when it's Dr. V, or Dr. Pepper, you see the true and genuine Michael come up. When he's crying, it's a battle within Michael, trying to do what's right and to maintain relationships, and because he had been doing it for so long, and trying to convince himself that it's okay to be you. He's talking about Mika being vulnerable so much that he only vulnerable when the doctor's around, and not when
everybody else is around. So
yeah.
you know, he has some mental issues that he needs to take care of. And
I mean, and Mika said it. Mika said he needs professional help.
He needs professional help.
But I think, and we not, we not trying to put him through the ringer or, whatever,
I diagnosed him.
Analyze it. Diagnose. But I told my husband, I was like, man, every time Michael be like, he's overwhelmed. He's trying to figure out what to do.
How do I get out of this situation?
And like you said, it's a battle between, do I be my authentic self?
Yeah.
Or do I keep putting up this facade? Do I feel like I can let her in. And then that voice tells him, no, don't trust it. Don't do it.
She can let you down.
Or, as he's doing this, what did I say before? I got to make sure that these lies flow.
You tell so
I gotta
many,
keep up with what I said.
He tells so many that he can't get tracked. So
yeah,
hopefully Mika and Michael can get it. Mika and Michael
the Eminem connection.
Eminem connection continue to work it out. But let's go to Brandon and Taylor. This is a quick one that we can squeeze by. They didn't have too many issues in this relationship in this episode.
Yeah,
that they kind of was finding their own, spending time with each other, hanging out, talking, having decent conversation. No issues, not major issues. Brandon was taking her back to his old childhood home where he learned how to play basketball. Mm-hmm. Taylor said she never played. She was being vulnerable to him. He's being more respectful, enjoying the moment even though he's a loner, opening up just a little bit with her to let her in. We didn't see her on her phone.
Right. I really expected her to take a picture of her food at the restaurant.
Didn't see her on her phone. They had a good time at the restaurant. So it was good to see them interact with each other without fighting. And you could see in this episode, you can see why the experts matched them together and how they could be successful if they hadn't got off to the bad start in Panama.
Yeah. And they got to play the from the heart game with the cards, and
that's my favorite.
You got to give
I like how they do that.
You got to give me these compliments, and then you have to express some physical affection. And Taylor made Brandon go above and beyond. He's only supposed to give 4 compliments, but you can give more than 4. And so then on the flip side, she ended up picking the one with 8. Okay, so I have to do the 8. But it was really sweet to see them. They slept in the bed together.
As a dog tried to hump him.
that dog is marking his territory.
That dog want Brandon bad. That dog wanted to hump Brandon so bad. He said, every time I feel like I thought it was my wife getting on me, it's the dog humping me like
that. In his sleep, he said the dog, and I take it that this is when he was in the other bedroom. Like the dog came in his room to hump
I don't know. What did Brandon got that dog like?
Listen, that dog is pissing on his territory. Look, bruh.
This me, dog.
I'm the man around here, and to let you know, I'm finna hump this leg all day, every day. But anyway, so yeah, Taylor and Brandon were pretty smooth sailing this episode for once.
Yeah, back in the house, and that's what he asked like, do I need to sleep in my own room or do I sleep with? He even gave her compliments that you look nice, you always look nice, and you look good, and so it would see like, okay, these two may. They had a chance, but we all know how they end.
Yeah,
but,
we know how it ends. So last but not least, Derek and Katie.
They frustrate me. She frustrates me.
Yeah, I feel like she's on some. She self-sabotaging. It's like she's looking for something.
They go to Derek's house.
Yeah.
They go to Derek's home, and he's in the garage, and he goes to different pictures and shows things. He said, I really didn't have a place to live. We moved a lot, really. And so to find a place where all his stuff is at. And, he goes into his book. He has a poem, and he reads it. The poem is a beautiful... See, he wrote it when he was a freshman, so 9th grade year.
Yeah.
And it's about love, and it's deep, and it's poetic. And she's like, but you've never been in love before? She was confused. Like, how can somebody who has never been in love before write a poem this deep? But you never wrote anything that beautiful for me, or just on some other stuff.
Yeah, he was like, when I wrote it, it's not about anybody in particular. It's just what I imagine that it would feel like. Like, obviously, Derek has a very broad and colorful imagination, which we find out when they talk to Dr. Viv, is even though they both had divorced parents, Katie kind of took the role more. She grew up real fast and took the role of peacemaker and the coming together type of person. And so she put that creative, that imaginative and dreaming side of her away. Unlike I tend to think probably Derek retreated to his dreams and his imagination when his family went through and all like that.
Because so, look at the poem. This is what, if my parents are divorced, this is what I want love to be.
Right.
I don't want it to be like my parents. I never experienced it, but I can tell you what it was. And you know, then he talks about the trip that he had with his, I think, with the elephant. With his
oh yeah, Monica with the frat, the frat cooler.
Frat cooler, and Katie got jealous.
Yeah, she did.
She got jealous of the.
Is this what you do on your dates?
This is what you do on your dates. You haven't done that for me. He's done more romantic things. He got you the picture of your family, the rose petals that everybody used, the bathtub, the chocolate covered strawberries, and you're comparing yourself to what he did for an ex.
A memory.
A memory, but he's with you. Don't do that. That's self-sabotage. Why are you so worried about what he did for an ex? And all the things that he's done for you. She's trying to find something because he wouldn't tell her I love you. If the boy ever say I love you, she won't have no problem.
Well, not even I love you, but that I'm in love.
Yeah, I'm in love with you.
Because I've never been in love before. So yeah, she's grasping at straws. I'm like, come on, Katie. The beginning of the episode, he gave you, I think she's making Derek give her insulin. Like, you trying to act like you can't give yourself your insulin no more. He gives you your insulin every day, honey. He put you on the health insurance, and you hung up on that. It's like you're just trying to find a way to say that he's like everybody else. He's not that into me, and he's so into her. So
into you. Yo, putting you on health insurance, that's greater than love.
That's major.
That's major, but he did, and he cares about it. So, you know, this episode of Married at First Sight was interesting. A lot of explosions from a lot of different couples, and I'm glad that we saw Dr. V talking to all the couples. I think she brings a different flair to the show. She brings some different things, especially with the intimacy side and the sexual side to it, and try to get these couples to connect on another level. Where she has been successful with some and not so successful with others. But it gets to the point where sometimes, again, they're sabotaging their own relationships by lying and cheating, and not doing other things other than what they're supposed to do. So, needless to say, next week is a couples retreat. Preview says there's gonna be a lot of blow-ups at the couple retreat.
Yeah.
A lot of blow-ups at the couple retreat. So I'm excited to see what next week holds at Married at First Sight.
And I want to see how and when and what happened when all the couples find out that Mindy and Zach aren't there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that gets explained to them.
See how they all interact with each other. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Don't miss any other episodes of Married at First Sight review. Also check out our Love is Blind review. Just have fun and share this video. We enjoy doing it. We enjoy talking about Married at First Sight. Appreciate each and every one of you. Once again, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.